So Croquis is a French project which has been executed by CSTD, but pushed by the French state. And the main goal of this project is to bridge the digital divide between SMEs in France and information technology. Because these guys are hardworking people and they don't have time to learn, buy expensive licenses and take courses which are quite long as well. And big projects and big enterprises who have time and money to organize this kind of understanding, and small enterprises who are asked to work on such projects but they don't have time to learn about these technologies. So I don't know whether you know this schema here, but in most situations when people are used to work in a certain way, and you come to them and you say you should use this technology, most of the time what they say is that, okay, sorry, we don't have time to use it. We are used to work that way. It's too much complex. I don't want to use it. So we knew that, and Croquis actually is a French state project, as I told you. So we are working with French organizations and representatives from the different sectors of construction, and we talked with them. And we wanted to do something. Our strategy was to do something which is quite pragmatic, okay, and close to the way, to the experience they have of technology. And we wanted as well to get on board as much as possible users in a short frame of time, okay? And when we talked with these guys, we realized that most of them are used to using simple technologies like Dropbox or Google Drive or things like that. This is the way they are doing collaboration for now. And we wanted to mimic this kind of way of working by embedding in the solution a collaboration suite where we can share files, and on the top of that, add some extra services where they can have a feeling about how to trigger a service which take a numeric model and extract quantities, or some very basic services which give them the feeling about how to use it and for free, so that they get further later and ask for more complex services. So at the time I'm speaking here, we have almost more than 39 kilo users enrolled in the platform, unique emails, collaborating with projects. Some of them, I would say, took a try and don't use it, so the activity is less than this amount of people, but it's still quite good. And what we wanted to do as well is to work on the core architecture, which is evolutive, and which makes it possible to add more and more services with the time. And actually, the architecture we ended up with was something with a collaboration suite, as I told you, because we knew it was the core thing that we have to implement at start so they can get in pace and using the platform. So we showed the French, we made a call for tender, and we showed the French technology, which is quite close to Dropbox in order to synchronize files and things like that. We created this orchestration system, which is like a microservice architecture where we can plug different services. And we wanted to provide what you see here. Oh, sorry, the mouse is not here. So, okay. We wanted to provide some core build tools. Okay, so some services which are basic but included inside the platform, and to create a system where we can have some third-party services connected to a platform, so that the end user once again can get a step to go further if they are happy with the very basic flavor of the platform. And we had also in mind that even if I keep using the trolley metaphor, some of them were likely to use a skateboard, but just wanted to share a file and to ask for a quick quotation and save it in a folder. That's it. And some other people, they need some more complex technologies because they are doing BIM level 3 or they are doing exploitation BIM. They want a digital twin connected to IoT and stuff. So we wanted to be able to cope with any scenarios that could happen in the future. So. To summarize that, at the center of the platform, we have a collaboration suite, but we can switch to collaboration suite because we have built an abstraction layer on the top of it. So maybe in the future, we could have a Dropbox powered by Croquis, why not? So this is the philosophy of sharing files and triggering some services on the top of that. After that, we've got the core services, which we provide for free, which are created by CSTD for the French state. And I will show you one of them. Like it's a checker, a rule checker, where we can create a PIN protocol and check it against the numeric model. And on the top of that, we have set an API where we expose the document API so that any external service can retrieve documents if needed, and later can call the checker as well, or any service that we will add to the platform. And around that, so we have the third-party services layer where we are providing some of them. For instance, FBIM is a software, laptop software provided by CSTD. Maybe you know it. It's a multi-scale viewer that you can use to display numeric models, and there are also embedded some plugins that you can use. But we have designed a quantity takeoff as a sample of external services, and we expect to have more and more third-party services integrated in the platform. And of course, we are based only on OpenBIM standards, I would say, and file formats, meaning that you can store any kind of file that you want in the platform, but the services only deal with NVIDIA XML, IFC, VCF, only things which are standards, and we wanted to provide it as a software as a service for the end users, because we just need to create for free an account, go on the web, and start working. Nothing too much complex for them. You don't have to install things in your own facilities, so it has to be easy to go. Okay, so to summarize that, the thing we have created here is at the center we have an orchestration system, okay, and we're proposing some core BIM services, and an API which makes it possible to integrate these services with external collaboration suite and external BIM-related services. Okay? And in the future, in the French state, is really pushing to have more and more numeric services. Everything which we do in paper currently, like the permit, the building permit, and things like that, are going numeric more and more. And it's planned to be there in 3 or 4 years. So we're working also with other parts of the state to be sure that we will be able to connect these French initiatives with the platform we have. Okay, and we keep in mind that we can have more and more, the users can use simple stuff, but as well more complex scenarios, and if needed, we will have the ability to chain different services to create the added value. So the value proposition for the end users, for the SMEs in France, is that you can use freely available BIM services, which are the services that you can see here. And we are still in discussion with the steering committee to see what we add to the platform in this topic here. So we get integrated, interoperable services through the platform. We can switch to one service to another because the platform through APIs can get you data and change the services. And in the future, we will get more and more services. And if you are an external service provider, the promise here is that it's a marketplace for services. Okay, when you get there, the enrolled users are users which are already knowing about technology, BIM, and construction services. So it's a kind of qualified users that you can find on the platform. And if you are an external service provider, you can use through APIs the kind of core BIM service tool that we will provide inside the platform. This is the strategy that we have. And I forgot to tell you that it's a plan. Right now we're working in a phase which is now in between 2022. So we are currently, there is a steering committee happening somewhere in Paris, and this is where we decide what part of the architecture we are pushing further. Okay, so this is another more complex, more detailed vision of the platform. You can see here that we can integrate different collaboration suites. We've got an enrollment system. It's very simplified here, but just for the logic. You've got the orchestration at the center with API exposing document management system to external services and services to inside the platform. You've got the core services, and we are working currently at adding a single sign-on so that we get a croquis login because it's quite important for the user experience that you can, with your Croquis login, you can log to an external application here or to your collaboration suite. It's easy to switch from one service to another. And it's quite easy to integrate as well for the external services because it's based on open standards like OpenID or ACML v2, so it's the way to go if you want to do this. So let's take an example of a sample core service which we have designed for the end users. In this case, we are in a situation where there is a BIM document which has to be delivered. Okay, so we have BIM manager, for instance, who has a certain constraints about how this document has to be presented and the information which has to be contained inside the document. So he's able to create control rules via an agent. So we are working right now with MVD XML, and we are switching to more web semantic technologies in order to create this checker. And the scenario is that someone, like an architect or an engineer, drops a document inside this Dropbox folder, this job folder, and there is an agent who checks automatically the rules against the BIM model and provides a status whether the document is good regarding the rules which were planned or whether it's bad. So if it's good, the BIM manager knows he can go to the next step. If it's bad, the architect knows that he has to rework the model so that everything which is needed can be set inside the platform, inside the model, sorry. So how it works in Croquis regarding this way of working with folders? Well, you can go in the folder, trigger the service, and assign the protocol inside this folder. So that anytime someone is dropping off something in the folder, the agent here take an action to make the validation, the verification. This is what happens here, and then later, when the agent checks, maybe we'll provide you some comments, like a BCF file, and you can use any tool, like IFBIM, for instance, to get connected to a platform. If you have a tool which is compatible, which has created a plugin for Croquis, retrieve the documents and display it inside the. Okay. I hope it's working. I can see play button. Oops. Okay, so this is a demonstration about how you set this use case in the platform. So you go in the folder, APD in this case. You are triggering one of the services which is integrated to the platform. In this case, I will trigger the protocol management system. In this case, we have created for the basic users, I would say the ones who are not able to create MVD XML files, a wizard where they can choose name a protocol, define whether it's a principal protocol, meaning that it will trigger anytime something is dropped inside the folder, and choose between some predefined, just for the sake of demonstration, some predefined rules checking. So he chooses to be sure that the quantities are set inside some part of the IFC, and it generates an IFC MVD XML file here, and automatically creates a protocol folder, and inside the MVD XML file is dropped. And now the system by convention, anytime you have a protocol folder inside the folder, if you drop something, the protocol gets applied to the file which is dropped. So here I'm uploading an IFC file, okay? Okay, so it's out in the platform. Then you get a message because the agent, the platform, sees that there is a protocol associated with the folder. So you get a message here telling you that the model will be processed, okay? And then later you will see that you've got the output of the agent telling you that your model is invalid regarding the rules which were contained by the MVD XML. And you get two outputs. The first one is a PDF document displaying what are the rules and what are the ones which fail the predefined demand. And you've got another one which is a BCF file, which is pretty standard. And in that case, I can trigger ifbeam, which is my local application which I installed, which has a plugin to get connected to Croquis. So ifbeam gets connected here, but I will show you other applications for third party which were integrated in Croquis. So by clicking on the BCF file, I get connected to a platform. I load the BCF, and then I know as well which IFC is associated with the BCF. So I load my numeric model here, and I'm able to browse through the topics that were created, telling me which are the parts of the model which were violating the rules which were planned, actually. So here I can see, I don't know, the slabs of the wall which were which had an issue regarding what I wanted to find inside my model. So if you are a third-party service, if you are a software provider, or you have an idea to get something integrated inside the platform, you can integrate the service and get triggered either on a folder or a file. So you can get registered by telling, I'm an external service, I can react on this kind of events or this kind of files. And I will show you some sample here. I still don't know when it starts or not. No. It's working? Yeah, I guess so. Okay. So this is how you can trigger services inside the platform. So you can see the list of the integrated services, and we'll go back to that later. And here I'm using the bin calculator, which is a sample services which we have created for free for the platform. And this service actually is processing the IFC file and extracting some quantities, like the wall quantities or things like that. And it's quite useful because if you are a painter, for instance, most of the time you don't understand about numeric models. You just want to know how much amount of work you have to paint, so you can do quotations. So we need a really simple tool for this kind of people, or the number of electric sockets, if you are an electrician, or things like that. So this is an example of an external services using the API to retrieve a document and providing something and put it back inside the platform. This is another example of a third-party service which is created by Wisebeam, which is a French company. And these guys, they are able to create a 3D model out of a 2D plan. Okay, so in this case, Wisebeam can be triggered on GIF, JPEG, or on a basic image. So this was a prototype in this video. I think it's better now. And then it routed to the Wisebeam service. So you're providing some information, and then they get the document, process it, and create a 3D model out of it. So it tells me that I go through the service, it puts me back inside the platform, the IFC, which has been generated out of the 2D version of it, sorry. And once again, I use Croquis to get connected. I use, ifbeam, which is free and integrated, to get connected to a platform. When I click on the document, it gets me at the right place here, and I'm able to visualize the IFC which has been created by ifbeam. Another example, which is more simple, I would say, is Bâti-Chiffrage. These guys, they are providing some online application to help the artisans to create a quotation. Because sometimes they don't know how to do it. So in that case, I go in a certain folder, like a folder which is shared with my client, for instance. I go through a quotation system here. So I want to create a quotation. I choose among a certain type of predefined actions so that it pre-configure the quotation. So here I want to make a demolition about 80 square meters. It gives me a default price, which I do not change. So I can, as a user, I can customize a little bit my quotation. And then I finally want to export it to the Croquis platform. And once I do it, this service uses the APIs to put back in the platform a PDF, which is actually the final quotation which I can share with my clients. Okay, another one is Labio. They do have a laptop application which is able to view, which enables a way of viewing numeric models, and they have also checkers and some specific plugins that you can use. And this capture here demonstrates the fact that another application can use the API to get connected to the platform on the behalf of the user and browse through the directories and retrieve documents and so on. So this will be improved as soon as we have the SSO set up. It will be improved because instead of starting from the web interface, you can get connected from the laptop application and then be identified and get to a platform to retrieve documents without having to start from the web page. Okay. So this was example of sample application, and we have another one, which is the beamchain.io, but I think you're speaking this afternoon, right? Yeah. So this is an example of the integration which we have made. You start from the platform in Croquis, you can trigger beamchain.io services. Beamchain is actually retrieving the IFC file, signing it, make a digital, using the blockchain to do all the process which is required to sign the documents. So you can get the document signed inside the blockchain. And then later you are able to upload another file and make a comparison between this version and the one which was uploaded and signed inside the blockchain. Okay? But I think you will talk about this better than I do. So these are some sample third-party services which are integrated. Okay, so you've got some software from different vendors. It's not an exhaustive list, there are more coming. But you have laptop applications, like the one from Aka Software, for instance. We have different editors integrated. We've got beamdata.io, we are providing an online web viewer and BCF annotation server, which you can use for free regarding a certain amount of data. CSTB, another part of CSTB, not the research part, is proposing services as well, which are official documents which you can retrieve and browse. You've got Place des Artisans, they're providing a quotation, material finding solution. So if you find there are doing some auctions for you to buy some materials for if you need that. That issue part we've seen it for quotation. That beam is providing beam objects. So if you are an architect, you can go through that, download some pre-configured components and embed them inside your numeric model, and so on. So it's growing. So to make a summary of that, so if you are the vision that if you are a collaboration suite and you don't know nothing about construction services, if you go with Croquis, actually you get superpower that your services can be tailored to construction requirements. Okay, so it's a way for you to get in touch with people who are working in the construction domain. And if you are a software vendor, you can be out alone on the market. Or if you go in Croquis, you are it's like if you are in marketplace with qualified users, and we expect to create support services, like you remember the small box of services which we created, and you can use it, these services, through an API to create more added value things for the sake of the users. One last word as well. We know that we have to create it's quite a new business model around this, okay? Because the platform is like, once again, intermediation platform. It's a French tech platform, so we don't want here to be to make profit, but we want still to get revenues to make it happen, to pay for the servers, to pay for maintenance and so on. So we need to find a business model because we are connecting some digital services with some collaboration suites, with some users. There are maybe some other faces inside the platform, but we need to find a way to, if a user here through Croquis goes to the business model of one of our partners, we need to find some kind of retribution so that the platform is still working and sustainable. So we're working on that too, and we know it's quite a new thing. So we're talking a lot with the software editors to understand how to make that fly. And we still have, once again, I said, 2 years to find our way out of it. And we're supported by the French state. Maybe we'll take further, but we know it's quite a new object which we are creating here. So money is still at the center at some point, so we have to find something around that. Last word, this project is used as well in one European project, which is called BeamSpeed. So the platform, the Croquis platform will be used as a backend. Good time, or I don't know understood. But.
It's 5 minutes left.
Good. So this Croquis is the backbone of the BeamSpeed project. So BeamSpeed project is about renovation. Okay, the goal of this project is to create a set of tools which make the renovation easier and better and more effective. It's a project we started in last November. It's for 4 years. I'm good with that. Oh, okay. And just a few slides. We will have 13 demonstrations places in Europe, like Spain, Romania. And these guys will use the Croquis platform and the integrated services from the partner in order to do innovation, which means that we want to acquire the beam models through drones or whatever, then create the beam, and then extend the beam, create simulations to find some other options, and then do the renovation and be sure that the renovation is good regarding the provisions that we had. So we are working on that with some metrics here which are defined. And there is about a set of users, and it's quite interesting. We've got some universities around Europe. We've got some software editors like SciPy, and then we talk with these guys to understand what can be a workflow and how can this workflow, what kind of technology in every partner we are using, and how do we change that inside Croquis so it's easier to use for the end users. Okay, that was it. You can lose all the time, and I will be around. So if there are questions later, and we'll get to topics.